Ladies and gentlemen, this is an incredible honor and a privilege. It was over 40 years ago that I left here, and it is a joy to return today. I'd like to congratulate the graduates on what is a very special day for you after 3 years. I know when I was here, there were basically 2 courses. So please don't throw cabbages and rotten tomatoes at me because I was on the acting course. Without stage management, of course, there's no show. So we salute you for what you're going to do for this industry in years to come. Without you, we don't have theatre. I'm sure that everyone here this afternoon will join me in endorsing that comment. Ladies and gentlemen, when I first joined here, somebody said, if you do what you love, you will never work again. And I never forgot that saying, because I spent the rest of my life essentially doing what I love. Before I came here, I was doing something I didn't want to do, and I couldn't take it. So I started applying to drama schools, and I was offered a place here at Bruford. I grabbed it, and I relished and cherished every minute of those 3 years. In my second year, well, I'll tell you that story in just a moment. But before I do, I must say that coming back here today has brought a lot of memories rushing back. I didn't plan a speech, I can assure you. But the one thing that hit me as I looked at the old building was I had to wear those leotards. And there was a very elderly lady who played the piano for the ballet and movement classes, and she would frequently fall asleep at the piano. And she would have to be jogged by our teacher, who was also elderly. So there I was in my leotards wondering, is this what acting's all about? And my Greek arm lines were terrible. But it was a great period of life. And in my second year, I was the social secretary for the Bruford College Students' Union. And I helped put on an arts festival, which is essentially concentrated on poetry and verse readings. And I decided to go for gold. And when I walked through these doors earlier on, I turned to my left and I couldn't believe it, because there is the magnificent portrait of our founder, Rose Bruford. And the memory came rushing back that I had decided to go for gold and invite her to return to the college to speak verse. Everyone told me, including the principal, Norman Benedetti, that's a tough call, she probably won't come. But I wrote to her and she responded with a positive yes. I would be delighted to. But there was one proviso in that letter, and I remembered it this afternoon when I saw her. So in the old Rose Bruford, in the old Barn Theatre, which is, I don't believe is here any longer. I haven't had a good look around yet, but it is. Okay, great. Well, in the old, because I don't recognize any of this. But in the old Barn Theatre, on that evening with a full house, I mean, because no one could believe that she'd, in a sense, come out of retirement to do this. We were standing backstage and I was incredibly nervous. And she looked at me and she said, Mr. Rodigan, you did remember to put the pink gels in the lights, didn't you? And of course I had. And I said, of course, Miss Bruford. And she said, thank you. Because of course, one needs a little help on stage when one's older. And she walked out that night and she gave a recital that I'll never forget. And I will never forget today. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.